Hello and welcome to Tomorrow is Yesterday, the show where we review every episode of Star Trek in production order. My name is Brandon Couch, and with me, as always, today is David Moss. You have to speak, David.
Was I was I supposed to say something here? I forgot.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did
No,
actually.
you didn't.
I froze.
You did freeze.
I was like, wait, I'm supposed to say something, aren't I? There's something about Pokemon.
No, it was not something about Pokemon.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Pokemon, Couch?
I don't have one.
You don't have a favorite Pokemon? How dare you? Name five Pokemon.
The duck one, the
That's not
tiger
a name.
one,
That's not a name.
the one with the helmet, the one that wears a baseball cap,
Uh,
the one that's shaped like the letter O. The one that looks like a cardboard box. David's mad at me.
name one Pokemon. I should be able to name.
Oh, your screen froze. That's why I thought you were mad at me. You were just
Your screen
looking
froze.
down.
You were just like staring straight at me, and I was like, "What?" So you can't name one Pokemon?
I can. I just choose not to.
Can you name any sci-fi movie besides Star Wars or Star Trek
I can
that
name
you
a ton
like?
of sci-fi movies.
That you like?
Yes.
What is it?
What is what?
Name one.
Okay. Terminator.
Okay, I'm proud of you. Not my first choice, but I'm proud of you.
You just said name one on the spot. That's what I had.
So what have you been doing?
Working, watching shows on Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Have you seen anything new on Amazon?
I've mostly been catching up on stuff like The Boys, Jack Reacher, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
You know what I watch on Amazon Prime?
What?
Grand Tour, Clarkson's Farm, James May, our man in India, Japan,
I've never
wherever.
heard of any of these things.
What? You need to watch them. They're really good.
Are they reality television?
Mm, So, have you ever heard of Top Gear?
So the answer is yes, and I will never watch them.
Dude, you got to. It's freaking hilarious stuff.
No.
It's not like Kardashian reality TV.
Okay, all reality TV is garbage.
No, not this. Anyway, Star Wars Bad Batch. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I don't have Disney Plus. You know this. We've had this conversation multiple times.
I know I have it, and I assume I have almost all of them. So
I used to have
spend too
Disney
much.
Plus, but then it got too expensive. The only
Five
one
ninety nine
the only one I kept was uh Paramount.
and Prime.
No, I got a free month of that. That's why I'm catching up on all my Prime shows.
I have Paramount and Netflix with our phone plan. We got it for life with our phone. So I pay 5.99 for Disney, and then 5.99 for Peacock.
Dude, you pay for Peacock like there's nothing on Peacock worth paying for. Come on.
What? You don't want to watch all the Harry Potters at any time of the day?
I can do that. It's called Blu-rays.
Until a month ago, I didn't have a Blu-ray player. So,
Fine,
uh,
DVDs. Those exist too.
until a month ago, I didn't have a DVD player either.
What are you talking about? You have like game systems. Like, don't you
No,
still have an Xbox or a PlayStation or something?
all my Xboxes were digital only.
You didn't have a physical Xbox.
No, I had a physical Xbox, but it did not play discs.
Why not? Does it not have a disc tray?
The Xbox S, Series S does not have disc trays.
See, that's just something I wouldn't buy. Like, don't give me a gaming system I can't put the game in. What's the point then?
I mean, you get Microsoft Game Pass, and you play all the games anyway, digital download. So,
Yeah,
but
this
I
is
got
the
a,
gaming companies wanting you to like get used to not owning your games so you can pay for stuff and then they just take it away whenever they want.
but I got a Series X now, so it has a disk drive. Yeah.
Well, all right.
So are we talking about Deep Space Nine today?
It's gonna be a few years, David. It's gonna be
How
a few years.
about Lower Decks?
It's gonna be even more years, David. Except for Patreon. Like when the next season comes out, we'll talk about it on Patreon.
Okay.
We would have talked about the last season on Patreon, but there was a writer strike or an actor strike going on.
Let's get this over with. The only episode that I care about is the next episode,
Really?
our namesake.
That's not the next episode.
Is it not?
Nope.
What one is the next one?
Um, I don't remember, but it's not that one because I was also getting excited about that. But no, it's not the next one. Might be the one after that.
Well,
Anyways, before we get to the episode spotlight segment, go follow us on TikTok at Tomorrow Trek Pod. Yeah, we're posting like clips from every episode now. We'll do more in the future with it once I learn how TikTok works. I'm old.
there's AI. It's for that.
No, David. This is not an AI podcast. We do not support AI unless their names are Data or the Doctor
I support AI.
or any other AIs that I can't think of right now.
Fred.
No, we don't support Fred.
Yeah, I support him.
Fred's a fun character, but no. Anyways, alright, let's get into the episode. Arena first aired on January 19th, 1967, teleplay by Gene L. Kuhn, story by Frederick Brown. Now it's funny why that's a thing. So in the 40s, Frederick Brown like wrote this story called Arena, and it was published in like a sci-fi magazine or something. Like he wrote the short story called Arena, it was published and everything. And then years later, Gene L. Kuhn wrote wrote this episode called Arena. And then one of the other writers was like, "This is very similar to this short story." And he's like, "Oh, I probably read that because I read a lot of sci-fi." And so they bought the rights to the short story and gave the writer of a story by credit. So that's why it's story by Frederick Brown and teleplay by Gene L. Kuhn.
Interesting.
Yep, and was directed by Joseph Pevney. Alright, and we have our cast: DeForest Kelly as Dr. Leonard McCoy, who we last saw in The Squire of Gothos; George Takei as Lieutenant Sulu, who we also last saw in The Squire of Gothos; James Doohan as Lieutenant Commander Scott, who we also last saw in The Squire of Gothos; Nichelle Nichols as Lieutenant Uhura, who we also last saw in The Squire of Gothos; Jerry Ayers as Ensign O'Hara O'Hurley, that's how you pronounce it. Grant Woods as Lieutenant Kelowitz, who we last saw in the Galileo 7. Tom Troop as Lieutenant Harold. James Farley as Lieutenant Commander Lang. Carol Schelling as the Metron. And Sean Kenny as Lieutenant DePaul, who we last saw in the Menagerie Part 2 as Fleet Captain Christopher Pike.
So I guess I missed that.
What?
I guess I missed that the guy who played Pike was in this episode.
Okay, so it was the guy who sat in the chair, the guy who played like the deformed Pike.
Oh, okay.
Is the navigator in this episode. So,
Okay.
like, it makes sense that you would have missed that.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, we open with a shot of the Enterprise, then cut to Kirk and Bones talking in the transporter room. Kirk tells Bones that he'll like Commodore Travers. Bones says he hoped the Commodore brought his personal chef to Cestus 3, and Kirk says rank has its privileges. Kirk gets a call from the Commodore saying,
Be sure to bring along your tactical people. I've got an interesting problem for them.
Kirk says they'll beam down immediately. Spock is suspicious, but Kirk says,
This colony is isolated, exposed, out on the edge of nowhere. He probably wants additional advice.
Spock's trying to say something when McCoy jumps in.
Spock, isn't it enough the Commodore is famous for his hospitality? I, for one, could use a good non-reconstituted meal.
Doctor, you are a sensualist.
You bet your pointed ears I am. Ready whenever you are, Captain.
It's an essentialist.
Sensualist.
Oh, I thought you said essentialist. I'm like, what is that?
I might replace that with a clip. The three of them beam down along with a blue shirt, a red shirt, and a gold shirt. They materialize on the planet and see nothing but scorched earth and burning buildings. Kirk orders the Enterprise to red alert and tells them that Cestus 3 has been destroyed. And that is our teaser. So what do you think so far?
You know, this is probably the. I remember watching this the very first time I watched this, and I don't remember I don't remember many episodes of the original series.
Well, you gotta remember this one. There's a guy in a giant lizard costume.
That might be why I remember it too. So, but but in all honesty, like I only remembered watching the fight between Kirk and the Gorn. And then even then, like I forgot that it was called a Gorn. So when Strange New Worlds was like, oh, you know, they're
Wait,
talking about
you didn't know that it was a Gorn? So you didn't
no,
know that this was the same thing from Strange New Worlds?
not at first, no. And then I didn't even think like, and then, and I didn't put it together with Enterprise either. Because remember, Gordon was on Enterprise
Yeah, that
in
was
the
very
mirror
bad
universe.
CGI. Well, I think the Gorn itself was from the Prime universe, but when the mirror universe like hijacked the Defiant and took it to the mirror universe, yeah,
You know, it's been,
a long time getting from there to here.
yeah, honestly, yes. So I don't remember, and also since I don't really care for mirror universe episodes, I probably don't fully pay attention half the time whenever they're playing.
I don't believe you, David. Mirror universe episodes were great.
No, no. The only mirror universe episodes that were okay were the Discovery ones.
Okay, no, those were terrible.
Those were the only ones that were okay.
No, they weren't.
Even the one that Kirk went back to and like evil Spock and all that, it wasn't that good.
The Enterprise mirror universe episodes were fantastic. There was a point where season 5 was going to be set entirely in the mirror universe because those episodes were so good. Like that was like one of their ideas.
I just couldn't get over Malcolm's face.
They didn't do anything to Malcolm's face.
You don't remember it?
No, I remember it very well.
It was Trip's face.
Yes,
Sorry,
it was
Trip's
Trip's face.
Yeah, I just couldn't get over that.
Whatever. They take cover. Kirk has Spock scan for life signs. Spock and Kirk both realize that the messages they got to come here were fake because this happened days ago. Kirk orders Lang and Kelois to split up in different directions. Spock possibly reads a survivor and they head that way.
Captain's log, stardate 3045.6. The Enterprise has responded to a call from Earth Observation Outpost on Cestus 3. On landing, we have discovered that the outpost has been destroyed.
They find a survivor trapped in wreckage. McCoy starts diagnosing him. Kirk says to keep him alive, he wants answers, and Spock reads another life sign. Kirk asks if it's survivor, and Spock says,
Not survivors, not warm-blooded. Living creatures, but not human.
Kirk asks where, and Spock says,
Azimuth 93 degrees, range 1570 yards.
Kirk sends the red shirt to go ahead first. He sees something and then is immediately vaporized. That reminds me, I forgot to grab the red shirt death count board.
We're finally getting to add to it.
Yes.
I guess I need a whiteboard over here so I can keep track too.
Kirk calls the Enterprise to beam them up, but Sulu on the bridge says they're under attack and can't beam them up. Kirk orders Sulu to keep defensive screens up and fire all phasers. Sulu does, and reports that the alien has their screens up too. So Kirk then orders Sulu to do anything necessary to protect the ship. Sulu asks if they're under attack and offers to lower the screens, and Kirk tells him to worry about them when the ship's safe. They carry the survivor to a shelter that provides more cover. Kirk orders Lang and Kelowitz to flank out and fire on the attackers. Kirk's worried about the Enterprise. Spock says,
Sulu's an experienced combat officer,
It's
Captain.
my ship, Mr. Spock. I should be there. We can't even get at them.
Nor can they at us at the moment. Not unless they move their original position, that intervening high ground.
Spock points at a mountain. Kirk asks Spock where this place's arsenal is. About 100 yards that way. Kirk makes a run for it, does a barrel roll, then takes cover behind a barrel.
Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll.
Yeah. So there's a lot of explosions going on in this sequence. Apparently, because of these explosions, both Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelley suffered from tinnitus until they died, and William Shatner still suffers from tinnitus because of this. I've talked about the importance of maintaining safety on set for both cast and crews before, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that's just unacceptable.
Do a barrel roll.
Super serious, then do a barrel roll.
Sorry, I can't handle serious.
That's okay. Kirk calls Sulu on the bridge.
Captain, are you all right? Never mind about me. What about the ship?
Sulu says they've used all their phaser banks, but they didn't work against the enemy's deflectors. Kirk orders him to arm photon torpedoes, then asks about the enemy ship. Sulu says it doesn't correspond with any configuration they're familiar with. Then Kirk orders to fire all photon torpedoes. Kirk then tells Sulu to do whatever it takes to protect the ship, even if that means leaving them behind at maximum warp. Sulu tries to argue, but Kirk won't hear it. Then Sulu reports that the torpedoes didn't work and leaves orbit. Back with the others, Spock asks McCoy how his patient is doing.
He'll be dead in half an hour if we don't get him some decent care.
Spock runs out and makes it to Kirk, who's setting up a grenade launcher. Spock tells Kirk he's locked onto the enemy and they're heading for the high ground. His tricorder starts smoking and he chunks it and it explodes. That I thought was funny. They locked onto my tricorder. Chunk. Boom. Kirk yells for Lang to come over. Spock asks about the Enterprise. Kirk tells him that Sulu took it out of orbit. Kelowitz runs over and tells them that they got Lang. Kirk asks if he saw them. Kelowitz says no, then asks where he thinks they are.
If I were them, I'd go to the high ground on the right. I'd make it 1,200 yards, azimuth 87. It's pretty close for one of these little jewels, Captain.
Kirk says it'll be closer for them. Spock and Kelowitz book it. Kirk launches the grenade and he jumps away from it. I think it's cool that the grenades are shaped like little, blue spheres.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of plasma grenades off of Halo.
I've never played Halo, so I can't comment on that.
You need to.
Alright, Kirk gets a call from Sulu.
Captain, the alien's withdrawing. She's at extreme range, but our sensors indicate she just activated her transporters.
Lock onto the alien, Mr. Sulu. I don't want to lose her.
Sulu says they can beam them up now, and Kirk orders for a 30 medical personnel. Kirk orders for 30 medical personnel to search for survivors.
Captain's log, supplement. We have beamed back to the Enterprise and immediately set out in pursuit of the alien vessel. It appears to be headed towards a largely unexplored section of the galaxy.
We're in sickbay. Kirk asks Lieutenant Harold, that's the survivor's name, what happened.
Scanners reported a ship approaching. We get them now and then. They're all welcome to use our facilities. They came in space normal speed, using our regular approach run, but they knocked out our phaser batteries with their first salvo. From then on, we were helpless. We weren't expecting anything. Why should we? We didn't have anything anyone would want.
Kirk tries to calm him down.
They poured it on like phasers, only worse, whatever they were using. I tried to signal them. We called up. tried to surrender. We had women and children. I told them that. I begged them. They wouldn't listen. They didn't let up for a moment.
Kirk then asks about the 2 messages they got from Cestus 3. Harold says they got hit a full day before they got there. They didn't send any messages.
I mean, Kirk already knew it was a setup after they had gotten there. So, I mean, he was just reconfirming that.
Well, yeah. Like, he's investigating. He's got to get confirmation on stuff like that.
Right.
Cut to Kirk and Spock in Kirk's quarters. Kirk says it was a trap. Spock says it's clever, but what about the reason?
The reason is crystal clear. The Enterprise is the only protection in this section of the Federation. Destroy the Enterprise, and everything is wide open.
Spock says you're talking about an invasion, but what about proof?
I have all the proof I need on Cestus 3.
Spock's like, no, there are several other explanations.
How can you explain a massacre like that? No, Mr. Spock. The threat is clear and immediate. Invasion.
Spock's like, fine, it's an invasion, but if it is, you have to make sure the ship never makes it to its destination.
I intend to. If we can keep them in the dark as to our strength, they'll never dare move against us.
Kirk calls Sulu and asks if the other ship's still going warp 5. Sulu says yeah, and Kirk orders warp 6. Kirk then says,
Overtake. Laser bangs. Lock onto the enemy vessel. Stand by for firing orders. All hands, this is the captain. We are going into battle. All hands, battle stations. Red alert. I repeat, red alert. This is no drill. This is no drill.
and that is the end of Act 1. Kirk says Federation in this scene. We have now established the Federation for the first time. Do 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 do.
I'm here.
Okay.
I just don't have any comments on
Just
it.
thought you'd have more to say about the fact that now we have the Federation exist.
I know. You know, you've heard my comments multiple times now up to this point, and I think they're just kind of old.
Well, David, you gotta think about it this way. Every episode is someone's first episode.
The inconsistencies
Okay, there's no inconsistencies.
between each episode.
Okay, it's not an inconsistency. It's just now we know the Federation's a thing. They just haven't mentioned it before.
But last month there was or not last month, last episode, what was it? What do you call it? He called it something else.
I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about the difference between Space Fleet and Starfleet, yeah, that's an inconsistency. Although this episode we go back to Starfleet, so we're getting better.
Until next week.
Maybe.
Captain's log, stardate 3046.2. We are in hot pursuit of the alien vessel which destroyed the Earth outpost on Cestus 3.
Kirk asks DePaul where they are. He says,
22.3 parsecs beyond latest chart limit, sir.
I don't know what that means. Kirk ordered to have all scanners locked into computer banks so they'll have a full record of this. Then he asks Spock what they know about the era.
Virtually nothing, Captain. No records of any explorations. There are rumors of certain strange signals on subspace channels. However, none has ever been recorded.
Kirk asks about intelligent life. Spock says just rumors and space legends. Kirk asks Sulu about the alien vessel. Sulu says they know they're after them. They just went to Warp 6, so Kirk orders Warp 7. Spock tells Kirk that going to Warp 7 can be dangerous. Kirk doesn't care, though. He wants to catch them. Scotty says they could be faster than us, so we'll either catch them or blow up. Kirk says, well, then they'll have to prove it. Spock gets real close to Kirk's chair and says,
You mean to destroy the alien ship, Captain?
Of course.
I thought perhaps the hot pursuit alone might be sufficient. Destruction may be necessary.
Colony Cestus 3 has been obliterated, Mr. Spock.
The destruction of the alien vessel will not help that colony, Jim.
If the aliens go unpunished, they'll be back, attacking other Federation installations.
I merely suggest that a regard for sentient
There's
life...
no time for that. Out here, we're the only policemen around. And a crime has been committed. Do I make myself clear?
Very clear, Captain.
I'm delighted, Mr. Spock.
Kirk asks Sulu for a report. Turns out the other ship is at warp 7, so Kirk orders warp 8. The rest of the room, like, stares at him, freaking out.
So, what is the max warp right now?
We don't know. But
I mean,
apparently
it's-
warp 8 is enough to freak out the entire crew.
I mean, warp 8 is all right in next gen and everything else. But like, so I don't know on original series. Isn't it like 9.8 or something supposed to be the highest until you hit transwarp?
I don't know, but clearly the warp levels in the original series are very inconsistent compared to the rest of Star Trek. They don't start, like, making that consistent until Next Generation. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because didn't they go really high one of the first episodes
I don't know, maybe.
when they went back in time, like reverse warp or whatever?
Uh,
It was around that episode.
yeah, you might be right about that. Time warp. We're going back in time.
And they're still 3 days ahead of everybody.
No, they're not. Alright, where was I? Okay. It's weird that Spock ended the last scene saying we have to destroy the ship, and in this scene he's saying it's not necessary.
Yeah, I know. Inconsistency.
Alright, we get a shot of the Enterprise and fade to the bridge. Sulu tells Kirk they're gaining on them. Uhura reports that the ship is being scanned. Kirk asks if it's the other ship. She says, no, it's from that solar system over there. Spock says it looks like someone's curious about us. Kirk asks Uhura for a report on those scans. She says,
There's no hostility, sir. They're not tractors or weapons of any sort. Just increasing in intensity. Steady. Regular. It's growing stronger, sir.
Sulu says that the ship is slowing down and then realizes that they're dead out there. Kirk orders for red alert and to attack when all of a sudden the ship slams to a stop. Kirk asks Scotty what happened. He says all propulsion systems are down. Kirk asks about life support. Scotty says it all still works. Kirk then asks about phasers. A voice over the intercom says weapons are down. Kirk asks Spock for a report. Spock says there's no actual damage.
We're being held in place, Captain. Apparently from that solar system.
This far out, that's impossible.
We are being held.
Nimoy just had like a great delivery with that. That's impossible. We are being held. We get a bunch of flashing Jack Kirby-esque lights on the view screen, and we hear this voice.
We are the Metrons. You are one of two crafts which have come into our space on a mission of violence. This is not permissible. Yet we have analyzed you and have learned that your violent tendencies are inherent. So be it. We will control them. We will resolve your conflict in the way most suited to your limited mentalities. Captain James Kirk.
This is Kirk.
We have prepared a planet with a suitable atmosphere. You will be taken there, as will the captain of the Gorn ship which you have been pursuing. There you will settle your dispute.
I don't understand.
You will be provided with a recording translating device, in hopes that a chronicle of this contest will serve to dissuade others of your kind from entering our system. But you will not be permitted to communicate with your ship. You will each be totally alone.
What makes you think you can interfere?
It is you who are interfering. We are simply putting a stop to it. The place we have prepared for you contains sufficient elements for either of you to construct weapons lethal enough to destroy the other, which seems to be your intention. The winner of the contest will be permitted to go his way unharmed. The loser, along with his ship, shall be destroyed in the interests of peace. The contest will be one of ingenuity against ingenuity, brute strength against brute strength. The results will be final. There will be no discussion. It is done.
Kirk vanishes much like he did last week. Uhura screams, and we cut to a planet where the Gorn is standing and growling right in front of Kirk. And that is the end of Act 2.
Keeps it up, they'll have to make like a rule to when Kirk disappears. This is what we do. There'll be a special alert. It's called the Kirk alert.
Kirk alert.
Kirk has left. Kirk has left. I don't know.
The Enterprise is dead in space, stopped cold during her pursuit of an alien raider by mysterious forces. And I have been somehow whisked off the bridge and placed on the surface of an asteroid, facing the captain of the alien ship. Weaponless, I face the creature the Metrons called a Gorn. Large, reptilian, like most humans. I seem to have an instinctive revulsion to reptiles. I must fight to remember that this is an intelligent, highly advanced individual, the captain of a starship like myself. Undoubtedly, a dangerously clever opponent.
As someone whose house is full of his wife's reptiles, I have to call BS on humans having an instinctive revulsion to reptiles.
I mean, I'm terrified of snakes, so you know. And I mean, I'm terrified of that bearded dragon of yours that keeps trying to escape.
Okay,
And
okay.
and I'll be honest with you. How is Kirk doing a captain's log in the middle of a fight on the planet?
Clearly, later he's gonna get to the bridge and do a captain's log. Or not the bridge, or just the ship.
I mean, I get that they couldn't have Spock do it because,
I mean, they could. We did last week a bunch.
but Spock doesn't know what's going on.
Okay,
If
yeah,
Kirk,
that's true.
if Kirk has no communication with them, but still, it's like, dude, you're standing there fixing to fight him, and you're doing a captain's log. But listening to this captain's log actually, again, made me realize the whole time that I was watching this, I was like, why is he sitting there doing like a log in a little stick instead of like fighting and coming up with ideas?
He's not though. If you watch him in the scene, he's not doing the log yet. He's not actually doing the log.
I know, but he's like doing like monologue about what he's doing.
But yeah, that's just voiceover though. It's not happening in the scene.
No, he does this like
Later,
no,
not at this point.
He's not doing the captain's log in the scenes. Like he's sitting there and the voice translator deal that they both have.
Oh yeah, later he'll be talking and saying this stuff into his voice translator deal.
Which, and at first I was like, what? Why is he telling this guy everything that he's doing? And then you going over this log again reminded me that, hey, that is actually doing like our journal almost for the crew.
Yeah.
Like you just said in the log. And I didn't realize that the first time I watched it.
Yeah. The Gorn breaks this big log off a tree like it's nothing. Kirk has trouble breaking a branch off a tree. They fight a bit. Kirk starts to get away. The Gorn picks up a big old rock and chunks it at him. And then Kirk runs. Cut to the bridge. We get an interaction between Spock and Scotty that's basically, have you tried this? Have you tried this? You should try this. I've already tried all that. Nothing works. Then Spock goes to Uhura and asks if sensors have learned anything about what's holding us here. Nope.
I bet Scotty gets tired of Spock sometimes.
Maybe.
Because Spock's like, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? And Scotty's like, yeah, it's my job to do that.
All right, cut back to Vasquez Rocks.
This is Captain James Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Whoever finds this, please get it to Starfleet Command. I'm engaged in personal combat with a creature apparently called a Gorn.
The Gorn can hear everything that he's saying because he's talking to a translator, not a tricorder.
He's immensely attacks from me that would have killed a human being. Fortunately, though strong, he's not agile. The agility and, I hope, the cleverness is mine. The Metrons, the creatures that sent us both here, said that the surface of the planet provides the raw material to construct weapons. There's very little here, scrub brush, rocks, an abundance of mineral deposits, but no weapons in the conventional sense. Still, I need to find one. Barehanded, against the Gorn, I have no chance.
I just saw the planet that he was on, and I was like, why doesn't he make a bomb? There's sulfur right there, and I bet there's some more stuff. But yeah, I was like, there's sulfur right there.
He makes a gun. Like, he uses sulfur to make a gun.
And later on, but
Yeah,
at
because he
first
has to get, like, the other things he needs.
but it takes him a while to think about it too, because he's like, oh wait, that's sulfur. And the first thing I thought of was, that ain't mustard on the ground.
Well, David, you're from the 21st century. He's in the 23rd century. It takes him a while to remember that sulfur can make a gun. Because even later he's like, I remember something about sulfur, but I can't remember what it is. Alright, cut to the bridge. McCoy walks in.
What are you going to do, Mr. Spock? I'm going to wait, Doctor. There's little else I can do. What about the captain? If I could help him, I would. I cannot. Now, you're the one that's always talking about logic. What about some logic now? Where's the captain, Mr. Spock? He's out there, Doctor. Out there somewhere in 1,000 cubic parsecs of space. And there's absolutely nothing we can do to help him.
Q has him.
Q doesn't have him.
We never do see the alien species that
Yeah, we
kidnaps
do.
them, do we?
Yeah, we do.
Who was it?
At the end,
I
we
don't
see
remember.
at the end we see one.
Do we?
Yeah,
Huh.
we'll get there. McCoy's being kind of dumb though. Like, use logic. Logic's not going to help McCoy. We don't know where he is.
I mean, McCoy never uses logic.
They just wanted to give McCoy lines here.
I don't know how he became a doctor. It wasn't using logic.
He's a small town country doctor. Alright, back on the planet, Kirk is trying to find a weapon while running from the Gorn, and the Gorn finds some vines that he can use as a weapon.
A large deposit of diamonds on the surface. Perhaps the hardest substance known in the universe. Beautifully crystallized and pointed, but too small to be useful as a weapon. An incredible fortune in stones. Yet I would trade them all for a hand phaser or a good solid club. Yet the Metrons said there would be weapons, if I could find them. Where? What kind?
Kirk sees a big rock on top of a much bigger rock. He pushes it over and it lands on the Gorn. Kirk runs down there and the Gorn gets up. Kirk runs away, gets caught in the Gorn's trap, pinned under a rock. The Gorn comes up with his rock knife, and that is the end of Act 3.
I don't have anything to say on that. I mean, I've already said most of it. I mean, right now they're just fighting like it's an arena. Which is
Hey,
the name
that's
of
the title of the episode. Act 4 picks up right where we left off. The Gorn goes to stab Kirk, but trips over him, so Kirk gets up and limps away. Cut to the bridge, Spock tries to reach out to the Metrons with no answer. Back on the planet, Kirk hobbles up to a rock with a bunch of yellow dust on it.
This may be my last entry. I am almost exhausted. Unless I find the weapon the Metron mentioned, I have very little time left. Native sulfur, diamonds. This place is a mineralogist's dream. Yet, there is something about sulfur. Something very old, something... If only I could remember.
It looks like the yellow powder that broke the transporter and the enemy within. Like, it looks just like that powder. Like, if you remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Back on the bridge, McCoy says, "It's just inconceivable that we're being immobilized." And Spock's like, "Well, it happened." And then the Metrons make contact.
We are the Metrons. Your captain is losing his battle. We would suggest you make whatever memorial arrangements, if any, which are customary in your culture. We believe you have very little time left.
We appeal to you in the name of civilization. Put a stop to this.
Your violent intent and actions demonstrate that you are not civilized. However, we are not without compassion. It is possible you may have feelings toward your captain. So that you will be able to prepare yourself, we will allow you to see and hear what is now transpiring.
So now the crew is watching the episode on the view screen. Spock notices that Kirk found some potassium nitrate. McCoy says, "So?" Spock says, "Perhaps nothing, Doctor. Perhaps everything."
Spock would be a terrible sports announcer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Kirk hears a voice from the translator. He asks, "Is this the Metron?" "This is your opponent, Earthling. I have heard every word you have said. What do you want? I am weary of the chase. Wait for me. I shall be merciful and quick." Like on Cestus 3. "You were intruding. You established an outpost in our space. You maimed people. We destroyed invaders, as I shall destroy you." On the bridge, McCoy is like, "Is he right?" Spock's like, "Possibly. We don't know anything about that part of the galaxy." McCoy, "So we were wrong." Spock, "That's for the diplomats to decide." Spock watches what Kirk's doing. He's like, "Good, he's figuring it out." McCoy asks what. Spock says, "Potassium nitrate." "Oh, and now he's found diamonds for projectiles." McCoy asks how. Spock says, "Basic chemistry, gunpowder." Now he's found sulfur and then coal. Now he's got everything he needs. Kirk shoots the Gorn. He's on the ground. Kirk grabs the Gorn's knife and goes to kill him, but he can't do it. He yells as much to the sky and the Gorn vanishes. Then an angelic-looking kid appears. Kirk says he looks like a boy. He says, "I'm about 1,500 years old." But Kirk surprised him. "By sparing your helpless enemy who surely would have destroyed you, you demonstrated the advanced trait of mercy. Something we hardly expected. We feel there may be hope for your kind. Therefore, you will not be destroyed. It would not be civilized." Kirk asks what happened to the Gorn. Okay, the Metron says he's back on his ship, then asks Kirk if he wants to destroy them. Kirk says no, we can talk. And the Metron says, "Good, maybe in several thousand years we can talk."
And I don't think they ever do come back, do they?
No. But also, we haven't got to that many years. Like, even Discovery is not that far in the future.
Discovery's about 1,000, right?
Well, Discovery is 900
From Kirk time period.
from Kirk. Because
so
it's 800 from Picard, so it's 900 from Kirk.
I was gonna say so about 1,000.
So
Which,
like
I mean-
if we get like 100 more years away from Discovery, then maybe the Metrons will show up.
Well, they said thousands, so if we have another 1,100 at least.
Oh yeah, he said in several thousand years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. Alright, Kirk appears on the bridge, sits in his chair and says, "Let's get out of here." Sulu says,
Captain,
Mr. Sulu?
it's impossible, but there's Sirius over there when it should be here. And Canopus and Arcanus. All of a sudden, we're clear across the galaxy. 500 parsecs from where we are.
Kirk says, "Don't try to figure it out, just head to Cestus 3. Bones puts a hands on Kirk's shoulder, smiles and leaves without a word. Very unbones-like.
He always has something to say.
He always has something to say.
After you touched off your primitive cannon, Captain, we lost the picture the Metron was sending us.
You saw what happened down there?
Most of it. I would be interested in knowing what finally happened.
We're a most promising species, Mr. Spock, as predators go. Did you know that?
I've frequently had my doubts.
I don't. Not anymore. And maybe in 1,000 years or so, we'll be able to prove it. Never mind, Mr. Spock. Doesn't make much sense to me either. Take us back to where we're supposed to be, Mr. Sulu. Warp factor 1.
Warp factor 1.
1,000 years, Captain.
Well, that gives us a little time.
We get a shot of the Enterprise, and that is the end of our episode.
You know what's funny to me? Is Kirk can take on a Gorn and some Klingons and stuff, and Picard can take on Nausicaans and everything. Yet in that one movie, they had a hard time together taking on that blonde guy.
What movie?
You know, the one where like the Nexus or whatever is coming.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the only one where they're together.
Well, for starters, both these guards are old at that point.
Picard isn't.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's a little bit older than Kirk's age now.
I mean, Picard's old throughout the entire Next Generation. Picard's never young. But he was young when he took on that Nausicaan, because he was like Academy age back then.
Yeah. But still, like,
But also, I'm not gonna argue for that movie. That's not a good movie.
like I mean, there was two of them that took on some pretty tough opponents before.
They got old.
That was my only thought.
Okay. We should start a segment where I just talk about the uniform things I noticed. So the survivor on Cestus 3 had the same uniform and insignia as the guy from the outpost that was destroyed in Balance of Terror.
Maybe it's the same outpost. No, it's not.
It's not. But it is the same, uniform. Now let's go to the red shirt death count. This week we lost 1 red shirt and 1 gold shirt, which means in total we've lost 2 beige shirts, 4 blue shirts, 5 gold shirts, 1 hazard vest guy, 3 red shirts, and a total of 15 crewmen. And we do count the beige shirts as red shirts, so we now have 5 red shirt deaths on the board.
It's not looking good for the red shirts. Because so far they're losing.
I don't know about that. We've lost more gold shirts than we have red shirts.
I know red shirts are losing.
Oh. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've also lost more blue shirts than red shirts.
Yeah.
Okay. You gonna rank it?
Yeah. On the Bailey scale, between 1 Bailey being the best and 10 Baileys being the worst, I'm going to give it 4 Baileys.
Okay.
It's just all right.
Okay. Join us next week for the Alternative Factor. You can find me everywhere at Couch Talks Movies. David, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok at Commodore Moss. And you can also find me at Starfleet, the International Star Trek Fan Club.
Okay, they can't actually find you.
Yeah, you can. I'm pretty easy to find on there.
You can find the show at Tomorrow Trek Pod on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and at patreon.com/tomorrowisyesterday. And don't forget to check out our stuff on the Couch Podcast Network store at couchtheaters.com. It's a long story. And until next time,
Live long and don't get attacked by Gorn.